Alright people, welcome back to another episode of Anthony Reacts. Today will be something completely different. Here I have we're going to be reacting to a top 10 list, and which is basically this top 10 is made from a friend of mine, and he recommended me to check it out. He is regarding the top 10 sequels that were better than the original, which honestly I love these types of lists because when it comes to like movie sequels, there's always that one particular sequel that we all have seen that is better than the first one, or considered by a lot of people to be the best ones. And a lot of people make their own personal opinions, their top lists, their favorites, which is better than the original, and I just love it. I love making these top lists because it describes a personality of somebody. It describes what they like, and it gives us good discussions on as to why we like these sequels better than the original. And in the case of this one right here, it is an opinion based from what I got from my friend of mine that reacts to this. It's like 18 minutes long. So I'm gonna react to this and see what he has in store for his favorite sequels. I have my own list of my favorite sequels as well. So yeah, who knows? May I'll do a top list one day. So. Alright, let's not waste any more time. Let's get this started, and let's see what this video has in store for us. Alright, so here's the list right here. So this was posted on September 21st. Yeah, let's see what my friend got, shall we? Just the volume here. So. Alright, if you're going to make a sequel list, there has to be at least, Godfather Part 2 or Terminator, because the reason I'm bringing this up is because when you look at all these sequel lists, they at least have that movie on the list, Terminator 2 and all that stuff. And it's been on everybody's list. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that it has to be on the list. There could be a list that doesn't have these movies, but every list I look into, they at least have a Terminator 2 and all these other movies on there. So, but yeah, I'm gonna just we'll find out. So let's begin in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my good people. They say sequels are never as good as the original, and more often than not, they're right. However, there is the rare occasion where the follow-up somehow surpasses the original.
I love the drawing. Yeah, I'm gonna admit, I'll props to my friend there. He did a good job drawing this character. I mean, I can see what he's going on with this. For a small video like this, I like seeing this thing. I'll love to see this whole animated one day, definitely. So.
Sometimes even by a long shot. So today I'm counting down my personal top 10 sequels that are better than the original. Note that for the film to be on the list, I have to be 100% sure, or at least 90% sure that they're better than their predecessor. There's a lot of
which is true, because making a sequel is hard. Like, particularly topping something that was already good on its own. So, yeah, like, he's not wrong. It is tough to make a good sequel.
Sequels that are good, but I'm not sure if they're truly better or not. Second rule is that they can't be from a movie series that was always intended to be a long-running franchise from the start. So no Star Wars films, Harry Potter, or even Lord of the Rings, since those are more like second chapters than sequels. Also,
that's fair.
I plan to rank all the Star Wars movies one day. Also, to keep things simple, I'm only including Part 2s, aka second installments, on the list. Anyways, let's go.
What's this from? What song is this? Oh yeah, this is fair use, by the way. All this is fair use. Remember the copyright claim. It's in the description of this video. The description of the video. And you can watch the original video on your end as well. I'll be posting the link on the description of the video as well. You can check it out. So,
Hellboy 2. Now let me say, while the first
Hellboy
Hellboy
2.
was definitely
yeah, interesting. Yeah, the film was good. I would not put this on the list, but yeah, Hellboy 2 was definitely. Yeah, it was a good. That was definitely a strong continuation to the first movie.
a creative and unique film, there were some things holding it back. The Golden Army is much more sharply written. The characters feel more three-dimensional, and the creativity is more plentiful. Some of the creatures are really unique, like the smoke monster who gains a physical form by going inside a mechanical suit.
Played by
who's
Seth
also a
MacFarlane, out of all people. This is freaking awesome, I'm not gonna lie.
hilarious.
I never would
addition
imagine Seth MacFarlane will play roles like this.
to the cast, the creepy-ass tooth fairies, and one of the more creative depictions of Death himself in a film. And I even like the romance between Hellboy and Elizabeth. Also, spoilers, I do like how even though he's destined to become evil and bring hell to Earth, she still chooses to keep him alive and stay with him. Though I do hope that with enough time, he'll be able to fight off his demon instincts.
If we ever gonna get that in the third movie, which it seems unlikely. Yeah, people have been demanding for a Hellboy 3 for so long. Guillermo del Toro, Rob Perlman, they've been busting their ass. Well, the fans have been busting both their asses to make a Hellboy 3. It never happens. And so, yeah, it sucks, but hey, we got two good Hellboy movies at least. So, like, I love to see a Hellboy 3. I mean, I doubt we're ever gonna get that, but again, for what we got, I'm satisfied.
With more fleshed out characters, more interesting concepts, and more memorable scenes, meaningful moments, and overall fun, Hellboy 2 is one hell of a good time.
Walking in the desert.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh
Let me say two
yeah,
things.
yes, a recent movie for a change. Hell freaking yes. Yep, I agree with you. Sonic Hedgehog 2, far superior to the first one, man. Someone who had played the games, mwah, I freaking love it. So good, man. I love
One
it.
is that there are definitely better sequels than this one.
This is actually one of the rare sequels too that it listens to the fans. Video game movies that listens to the fans. Yeah, props to Jeff Fowler and the team for making this.
However, I'm including movies on here not just based off quality alone, but how much they've improved upon their predecessors. And while there are sequels that are better movies overall, even if they're not as good as the first, I feel this one is massively more enjoyable than its predecessor. The whole adventure feels bigger since there's more at stake this time, as well as bigger Pearl. And to top it all off, there's much more references and direct inspiration from the games, such as the Master Emerald being part of the story, the Death Egg Robot, and Supersonic.
Dude,
Also,
spoilers!
scope, it
Don't show that! Do a spoiler warning this time. Oh my
feels more
god.
like a video game since we're going from location to location, kind of like video game worlds. Also, the characters are done much more justice, since Sonic is now trying to be a hero without getting too cocky, Tails being a fanboy of Sonic and starting a close friendship with him that feels genuine, but the best character by far in this movie is probably Knuckles, who, although an antagonist,
Unlike Sonic,
at
I don't
first at
chuckle.
least, is actually a good foil to Sonic since their backstories are connected and they have gone through similar tragedy. It feels a lot more like a Sonic movie, not just because it incorporates more game elements into the movie, but because it's an adventure where Sonic and Tails go from location to location and battle Dr. Eggman's robots, as opposed to a road trip movie. I'll admit I would have preferred a fully animated Sonic movie, but I never thought we'd get a Sonic movie at all. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Speed up and watch it.
I never would imagine we'll get a sequel too, man. I mean, like, can you imagine that they did not do the redesign for Sonic and we got that abomination when it was released? Can you imagine that? We would probably never got this movie. Even if we did with that original design, it will not do well. I couldn't imagine what Tails and Knuckles will look like with that old design. Oh, good lord. Oh my god, I can't believe we live in a world where we have a director that cares so much about the franchise and the fans to fix a design like this. It doesn't help the movie. Of course, changing a design does not help with the movie, but hey, but we got a guy that cares, so...
How to Train Your Dragon 2. A
Agreed.
sequel that feels
Yeah.
more adventurous,
Definitely,
bigger
I agreed.
in scale and scope, and
I
takes
kind of like
more
the
risks
one a little bit
overall.
more, actually.
For starters, the
but,
story
yeah,
felt
I would definitely put this on the list if this was for the second film. Like, number 2's only. I would agree.
the first movie, there was only like 6 or 7 different species of dragons. In the sequel, there's over 30 different types from what I can tell. From small to big and even ocean-dwelling ones.
If you watch the High
The
Train
animation is
Dragon
much more
TV
impressive and
series,
beautiful, with
you
its
can
flying effects
definitely,
and locations.
see more
The
dragons
characters
than
are
we
given
got
more
in this movie.
development, and we get to meet Hiccup's mother, who's actually an interesting character with a unique backstory, and feels bigger, better, and more grand. As well as having great characters, both new and old, as well as an insane new antagonist who definitely tops the first villain.
Was there a villain in the first movie? Oh yeah, that giant dragon that just pops out of nowhere. I did not like the villain in the second one, but well, at least we had a villain, so...
Sure, he's not a 100-foot mind-controlling beast, but he's a legitimate threat to both humans and dragons, and at one point he proves how heartless he truly is. Though I still think the antagonist from the third movie is the best. How to Train Your Dragon...
That I kind of disagree. Well, kind of. Yeah. Like, yeah, technically, the third villain, Grimmauld, he was better than... He was the better villain than Drago Bloodfist, but his motivation's still really stupid. He is better than Drago, but yeah, he is the best villain of the franchise, but he's still a weak villain, unfortunately. Number 7.
Rocky 2. Well, it's hard
Yeah,
not to
Rocky 2
appreciate
is
the first one
definitely
for how
everybody's list.
innovative it is, especially when one looks at the history of how it was made. But sorry, the second one is better in a lot of ways. For starters, the movie perfectly continues where the original left off, and shows Rocky's life with Adrian, and how tying the match affected his life positively. Now, what works about this film
There's
is
a
that
lot
the
of
whole
great
family
conflict
drama
in this
feels real.
movie.
The story can
I
feel
really
more
enjoyed Rocky
emotional,
2.
and has overall more heart. Like case in point, the motivation for him to go out and box again, his wife who's in a coma tells him to win. Cue epic training montage. Although the movie can be cheesy at times, the
Yeah.
gripping story and good characters make up for it, and it does have a good message. In order to be successful at your goals, you can't just be physically healthy, but emotionally healthy as well. Well, Creed, who was in a much worse state due to assholes being mean to him and his family, wasn't. I like how even though Creed is technically the antagonist, there isn't any real villains. I mean, no one's really evil.
I
and
agree
it's
too.
surprisingly
Like
easy to
Apollo Creed wasn't a bad guy. He was just a man that was stuck in this
sympathize with our antagonist,
bad
who
life.
at the end of the day isn't
This
so
film
different
does
than
a
Rocky
good
himself.
job at exploring
And even
that.
after Kung Fu Panda 2, if you haven't seen any
Hell
of the
yeah.
Kung Fu Panda movies,
Best
let me
one in the
say,
series
they're
by
better than
far,
they sound.
and I cannot
It's a goofy
wait for
sounding
the
title,
fourth one,
but
man.
they really do
Cannot
pay
wait.
tribute to the martial arts films and have good morals and themes. With flashbacks and 2D animation, the fighting choreography is some of the greatest from DreamWorks, and there's
I
more
love
great
that
character
climax
moments,
so much.
such as Poe and Tigress
So freaking
becoming
good,
better
and the
friends,
music
or
by
Peng's
John
relationship
Paul
with his
Hans Zimmer.
adopted son.
Like,
Also,
wow.
Poe being adopted isn't a spoiler. It's common knowledge. It easily has the best villain in the trilogy, who's probably the most evil thus far. Has a great design
Yep,
and
the
even
best
a
villain in the
personal
series by
connection to
far.
our hero. It's a movie worth kung fu fighting over.
Number 5.
Short Circuit 2.
Wait, what? What's the... Hold the... Short Circuit 2? Are you freaking kidding me? This has to be a joke.
Personal
Are you serious?
Short Circuit 2.
Wow. I was never expecting this at all. Alright,
original
let's hear it.
Ollie, in appearance at least, not really story. The first Short Circuit was a likable and cute E.T. type movie with a lovable robot who learns what human emotions are and goes against his programming on being a war weapon, as well as his friendship with a woman. The sequel takes place in New York City, and focuses on Johnny's time in the Big Apple.
Oh yeah, was this movie filmed in Toronto? That's cool.
After ending up in town, even though he's not supposed to leave the warehouse. Long story.
The
And how
prequel
people
to
in the city
Chappie.
view him as nothing more but a machine despite being alive and sentient. Now, what I do like a lot about this movie is that, for starters, despite some outdated elements, i.e. this guy isn't actually played by an Indian, it's pretty ahead of its time with its themes, as the movie touches on prejudice with people seeing Johnny Five as a lesser being for being different, how Fred tries to sell Johnny Five thinking he's just advanced AI, and even the police unfairly arresting him. There's also more suspense and interesting scenes. Without giving anything away, I did legitimately fear for our protagonist's lives on more than one occasion. as the crime lords are a threat both to Johnny Five and the
a little worried about that, the backlash he's gonna get from people with Sword Circuit 2. I'm very curious as to why he added on the list. If I should probably ask him later. I'm very
two human protagonists.
So far, I can see why you like the movie.
The main villain, Oscar, is such a manipulative prick. It makes his comeuppance all the more satisfying at the end.
Do I have to say it again? Prequel to Chappie.
And there were many scenes that helped us understand our characters more, like the friendship between Johnny Five and Ben. The scenes with the two trying to help each other are legitimately heartwarming. Also kind of a father and son relationship, since Ben helped create him in the first place. There's just a lot more charm in this movie. It feels more oddly original than the original, and has overall more personality. Overall, Johnny Five feels more alive.
I would not put this on the list. I never seen the Sword Circuit movies, but they're not. The second one is not like would not be on my list. That's for sure.
Toy Story 2, my personal favorite.
Okay,
of the
yep,
series.
that's
Also,
definitely everybody's list. Toy Story 2, yeah, you gotta have at least Toy Story 2
the most
on the list.
nostalgia of the franchise to me, and come across many more locations that make the whole experience feel.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he's a really good critic too. But honestly, like he has really a good opinion on these movies. Every time I watch his videos, he does have a good thoughts and analysis on these movies. I give him props. He's a really good critic.
More grand. We get more of a story with the supporting characters, and many more exciting set pieces and awesome moments, and we're introduced to some great additions to the cast. Another thing I like is that story-wise is how, in the first one, Buzz was the one who had to learn that he was not a real space ranger, but a toy, and comes to terms with how that's okay. But in the sequel, it's Buzz who tells Woody that he shouldn't go to the museum and reminds him a toy's purpose in life is to make a child happy. Also, Zurg and Stinky Pete are probably my favorite of the Toy Story villains, as I do get Pete's motivation the most. Anyways, with all that and more,
Who
the
doesn't
sequel
love
really
Stinky
does
Pete and
go to
Zurg?
infinity and beyond.
Number 3, what could it be?
Terminator 2. Once again,
There you go, buddy. There you go. Terminator 2, baby. On the list. Terminator 2.
considered a big long-running franchise like Star Wars or Harry Potter, but three things. For starters, Terminator 2 was such a noteworthy movie sequel to surpass the original that it would be a crime not to mention it. Second,
Yeah, it would be a crime if Terminator 2 was on the list. That and Godfather Part 2 and,
of all was that the sequels are kind of confusing in their timelines, since a lot of them tend to ignore everything after the first two and are set in separate universes. So the first two are the only ones that are canon, I guess. And third,
yeah, it would be better. Is Dark Fate considered canon? I mean, James Cameron was involved. I don't know. Like, I have no intention of seeing Dark Fate, but yeah, like, let's just go by what he said. It would be better if we wanted to, or the ones that are canon. So, yeah, like, after Genesis, the franchise had killed for me, so...
third of all, this was planned to be a single follow-up. Anyways, Terminator 2 was a very different yet much better film than the first. The liquid metal still looks believable and impressive to this day. Okay, maybe didn't age that
Yeah,
well,
the
but
CGI
still,
is a little...
yeah, not only is the
yeah,
T-1000
rough,
great,
but
but the world building and the overall
it's a
backstory
pass.
to
Like, you
the
can't
bad
blame something
future.
that CGI... It came out around the time when CGI was a new thing, so you really can't blame it for looking like this.
Recommendation for you to watch and make your own judgment.
Number 2... Proud of you, buddy. Terminator 2.
Shrek 2. Now, how do you make
Oh,
a sequel
yeah,
that...
Shrek 2. That's definitely number one. Has been on everyone's list, and yep, the best Shrek movie, that's for sure.
perfectly subverts all the fairy tale tropes? Have a movie that takes place after the happily ever after. Like what would happen after the happily ever after? How would the family react to all this? Which is a great way to continue
We got a scene right here. How the family react? We get it right here in the
the
scene.
story, especially since the first
Like a dove just crashes into a wall, like dies. I love it.
story is overall more exciting, heartfelt, and even intelligent, actually. The movie keeps a lot of the greatest elements from the first one, like its adoration of fairy tales, though still paying homage to them, the awesome soundtrack that not only adds to the overall identity of the Shrek series, but helps add more layers to the scenes and make them more memorable.
Again,
and of course,
ogres
the
have
humor.
layers.
There's tons of jokes in almost every scene, and most of them land. The writing is smart enough to make both children and adults laugh, as there's both kid jokes and adult jokes. And
Plus,
some-
this is the spot. This is Eddie Murphy's like biggest spotlight as Donkey. He was comedy gold in this movie.
More than just a comic relief character, he's also a good friend. And we're introduced to some new characters who are just as memorable, including fan favorite Puss in Boots.
That got 2 movies. One's coming up soon, which I'm really excited for.
Before we get to my number 1, let me list some honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. Madagascar 2.
Madagascar 2, an even more funny and well thought out film. It has a storyline for each character, and its climax is both suspenseful and hilarious. It was going to go on the list, but then I realized there's another DreamWorks sequel I like more. Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2. I actually have not seen Gremlins 2, but I heard things. Yeah, I need to check out Gremlins 2. I want to know if it's actually better than the first one. I need to check it out.
It's funnier, has better cinematography, a more unique main setting, and has Gizmo eventually stand up to the Gremlins after pushing him around. But there's another upcoming list where I can talk more about it. Anyways, on to number 1.
Wait, number 1. Oh, wait. That's it for honorable mentions? Oh, there's a lot of other sequels that you could list. Alright, let's go for our part 2 on here. Let's see.
Before I state what my number 1 choice is, I'd like to say something. While it was surprisingly easy for me to find 10 sequels that were better than the original, I legitimately had a hard time deciding what order they should go in.
Yeah, but he's kind of right. It's hard to rank a sequel, particularly when you're making a list. Like, again, when it came to Sword Circuit 2, I can't be a jerk and be like, how could you put Sword Circuit 2 instead of Kung Fu Panda 2 for number 5? Like, I can't just be like that, because we all have opinions, and it's kind of hard. Which one's better? Like, it goes by taste. It's kind of like it goes by what's your favorite flavor. I think how you describe lists is describing your favorite flavor. So again, I understand as to how he organized the list, and for organized list, it's pretty good. So alright, what's number 1?
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh no, Gunfire Part 2. Good luck with the Angry Mob, bro. But yeah, Top Gun 2, I haven't seen it, but I heard really good things. And I have a feeling this will be on the best sequel list in the future. So, yeah, there you go. The first ever sequel list to have Top Gun 2. Good job, my friend. Good job. Jake DeBruyne, everybody, the guy who made this top list. Yep, Jake is amazing. He's a very good guy. Good job, man.
Now, what works about this follow-up is that not only does it improve...
I need to see Top Gun 2. I really missed it out in theaters. So yeah, I gotta get around to seeing it eventually. I gotta rewatch the first movie first, and then I'll go... Yeah, the sequel will go right after.
...on the first one, but its story is better written, and its characters feel more fleshed out. The characters, both new and old, feel more like real characters, and even the more minor characters have some time to shine. Another thing is that the story this time around is given a lot more time to build up the conflict, the drama, the victory, and even its thrilling moments. That's another thing I really like about the movie. The action scenes are now much more intense and really feel like you're a part of them. Case in point, when the planes went upside down, it actually felt like I was in there, and the cinematography this time around felt even more impressive. Also, the climax of the film is one of the best I've seen in a while, although I'll admit some of the dialogue is... Case in point, it made me think about how people I know will be different in years from now, and how I can still be as lively as I am now, and how true friendships can last forever. Top Gun Maverick. If you haven't seen it, it should be at the top of your list. Also, there's
will do. I will be on the list.
One more thing I
gotta check it out.
To say before I go. Copyright disclaimer.
Yep. As mentioned before, guys, copyright disclaimer. Please don't take this too seriously. It's for fair use purposes only.
Under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news report, technicking, scholarship, and research. What I'm trying to say is, this video 100% falls under fair use. If you're a fan of any of the movies here, please consider watching them through legal means.
I would have put the disclaimer in the beginning for future references, just to, be safe. So, but yeah, really good list, man. So, yeah, people, check out Jake DeBruyne's YouTube channel. He's a great guy. He's got great content. Give him a subscribe and give this video a like. He's definitely got a lot of talent. So, Okay, so that's it for this video. Yeah, really good list. A little shame we didn't see Godfather Part 2 or any of these other movies, but hey, his personal opinion. If you have a sequel that's better than the original, feel free to list it in the comment section below. Check out Jake the Bruin, check out his YouTube channel in the description below. And if you like, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye. Thanks for watching. Thank you.